Some people call it manifestation. Carl Jung called it along the lines of active imagination. People of spirituality and prayer and religion and faith call it invocation, dua, or prayer. And according to most schools of thought, it is one of the most powerful ways you're going to learn how to turn your thoughts into your reality. And if you're not careful, your negative thoughts can become your reality, and your positive thoughts can also become your reality. And here, you're going to learn with me, and we do this on the coaching, how to turn your thoughts into reality in a directed way, a controlled way, and a way that you allow your best of you to become your reality in the near and not too distant future. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam Illaiee, and we run this podcast around leadership, especially in the healthcare workspace. Please like and follow if you follow me here, and then you'll get the latest updates all the time. And we'll go through this method just so you can understand. And if you've been working with me, you'll know this already. And if you want to book some coaching, just reach out, and then we can get some sessions booked in for you. But this idea of active imagination, your brain does not know the difference between reality and falsehood. It is some part of your brain that uses data points around it to make judgments as to what is real and what is not. And in reality, in the coaching, we get you to look 10 years into the future, look at who you want to be, and then we have a little conversation. It's just quite a difficult conversation for some people to put yourself in the future, tell me what you are, what you're doing, and then speak in the present tense about that system, about that scenario. And once you do that, you begin to see this manifestation of that reality. And some of it can become uncomfortable because it requires you to grow, requires you to change, requires you to become that person you want to be. But the method is very, very, very simple. But it only works if you do it consistently and regularly and make it part of your affirmations. And to think about that person in 10 years' time. 10 years is not a very long time in a career, professionally or personally. Every morning, before you check your phone, you can close your eyes and then picture your wish or your imagination or that dream position that you want to be or your ambition. And you have to picture it as if it's already happened, not like a movie scenario or anything like that, but a moment in time, and you're there. And say, for example, you meet me there, and I say to you, how's it going? And then you tell me how it's going and how you got there. But at the same time, in this affirmation in the morning, or if you prefer to do it in the evening, if you're a night owl, but you try to feel what your body's going to feel. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you touch? How does your posture change? How does your behavior change? Has your language changed? Has your communication style changed? You're not forcing your mind, but you're getting your mind to accept this new active imagination, the imaginative reality. It's an active imagination. It's what we call manifestation, like I said to you. You're not you're not letting your mind just be taken into the future and having a wishy-washy thought of the future. You're letting your mind and your body and your soul and your heart experience the future that you want as a memory. It hasn't happened yet, but you're actually forcing your brain to think about this as a memory. You can look at it in a similar way to how we have dreams. Dreams are not reality, but when you're in the dream, you can't tell the difference between reality and falsehood, reality and dream state. And here, you are actively looking at your future self, professionally or personally, however you want to do it, as a memory, as if it's already happened. And then what you should do is write it once in your journal. If you're journaling, just write once. And if it's already true, and if you're saying that that is already true and become a memory, then you come back to now. And what do I do today? How do I act today? Is my language skills good? My communication skills good? If that person is a leader who's managing 200 or 300 people, are you networking with 200 or 300 people now? Are you able to say hi, hello to 200 or 300 people? Are you able to think about, mentalize what they're going through and how you can relate to that? These are little skills that you build early in your junior career. So when you become that manifestation, which is now a memory in your brain, you don't have such a far bridge to cross. And every day becomes a learning experience for you. And it becomes intentional and about what you're going to achieve in the future. Your brain does not know the difference between imagination and real life experiences. For your brain, when it's in the moment, it cannot tell the difference. And this is what we need you to do, so you ensure that your brain is driving yourself to reach that experience, to reach that place. But it's always behavior that will align with your identity. Your behaviors now will either get you to go there or get you to stay here. If you don't change your behaviors, if you don't improve your behaviors, for example, if you said you want to be a leader of a big team and you have a huge salary and you have a huge successful person you are, and everyone seeks your advice and seeks your leadership and your guidance, that behavior starts today. That identity starts today. Then unconsciously, you're going to shift from doubting people, to participating, to doubting yourself, doubting the system can help you, doubting if you can reach that. But then you start to participate actively in society to reach your goals. So we refer back to Jung. He said something like, until you make the unconscious will direct your life. And then you will say, that's just luck, or that's just my thing, or this fate. So until you make what's unconscious conscious, until you can see what's pegging you back, holding you back, those negative thoughts, and bring them to the forefront and deal with them, they will continue to direct your life. But if you can think these thoughts about where you are in the future and feel those emotions and feel what it feels like and understand what is required of you to operate at that level, your mind has already absorb that into your unconscious, and that will start to manifest in your everyday behavior, and that's what will direct your life. So you can call it fate, destiny, but you have the power to have some control over it, and you need to make sure that these thoughts are positive and driven about the future, and then you dedicate your time to make it happen. So if you practice this affirmation every day, I guarantee you within 10 days you'll see a change. Your focus will sharpen. You will see, Louis Pasteur says serendipity only happens to those who have a prepared mind. So chance only luck only reaches those who have a prepared mind. But those small coincidences of fortunate things happening, or incidents that require you to have some input or some change or some transformation, they will happen. So once your small coincidences start to multiply, you see oddities happen, things that happen, and they're not by chance anymore, because your mind is much more alert. You can see things better. You're becoming much more aware. And we'll talk about anti-hero theory in other episodes of this. But you have to understand that your decision making will start to change. Your decision making is now going to start to align. And that desire of the future, that version of you in the future, is going to be influencing that, because for your mind, that's happening now, and that desire to get there is actually happening now, effortlessly. So once your focus is sharpened, these small coincidences happen that are blessings, you can say, or sometimes situations that you need to deal with, and it allows you to grow. And then the decisions that you make give you learning and give you clarity. You starting to become that person, and that 10-year journey for some people that I've worked with accelerates to short periods of time. And for some people, they are appreciating every moment on that journey, because when you stop fighting what your mind actually wants, you start winning. But if your mind is wanting negative things and you haven't tackled it, you haven't told your mind, this is what we want, this is where we're going, then if your mind wins, you will feel defeated. You will feel that everything is persecuting you. And we don't work on negativity in my coaching sessions. We identify it and we talk about them as allergies, and we need to find your allergies and identify them, but we don't tell you to dwell on them. We dwell on things that we can actually move towards. So there's nothing written in every book on the next thing I'm going to tell you. So this idea of manifesting in the future, if, and again, this is perhaps a little bit more spiritual, if you are trying to get this role or this job from your ego, which means it's a selfish chase, or if it's a chase just for your desires or your pleasures, then that will become your reality, and your desires and pleasures may not see that as enough, will not be satisfied with it. What you do when you're making these manifestations or this active imagination or this prayer, it needs to come from your essence, your soul, essence, whatever you want to call it, your core. It needs to come from that and not your base desires. That's why it works, even for skeptics, because this is not, some people say, Sam, you preach magic, and this is not magic. It's mental coherence. It's like clarity of the brain. Once you're clear and you're not doing it for ego, you're not doing it for things, cheap thrills and ego and stuff, you find this, it's more than magic. And that's really where we go with the truth. This truth is of your conscious mind taking something which you can see, and you see it from the essence of your soul, the essence, and it agrees, your conscious agrees, your mind agrees, you're aligned, and that reality then starts to follow. I can talk about it from a mysticism aspect. We can talk about it through Jung and neuroscience, wearing Jung's clothes, if you like. But again, by the end of working with me as a coach, you will want to, and you will have the tools to completely transform your life. And work with me, and we can make it happen together. And I hope to see you on the next one. Active imagination. Take care, everybody.